As well as creaks and clicks, bikes make all sorts of other noises like rattles and squeals and scrapes. So in this video, we will tackle the most common ones to help you silence your bike. Now, first of all, we'll start at the front end with a loose headset. You may not know what that is, but I can guarantee if you've got one, you'll have noticed it. So to check, grab your front brake and rock the bike from front to back. You can feel a loose headset as there's a clunking noise, and that'll manifest itself on the road with quite a loud rattling every time you go over some bumps. To make sure that rattle's coming from your headset, put your fingers loosely around the top of it and continue to shake, and you can feel it if it's loose. To correct it, just loosen these bolts here on the stem and then tighten this bolt here on the top. It doesn't have to be tight, just enough to stop your rattle, and then retighten the stem bolts here. If you've got a torque wrench, use it. You don't want to over tighten these. Next, we're going to tackle bottle cages. These have a habit of coming loose, and then you get a familiar loud rattle with it. It's just a case of tightening the bolts back down, and that will sort it out. However, some bottle cages are simply just loose, in which case you can sometimes rectify it. If you've got an alloy cage and your bottle's rattling in it, then just give it a quick squeeze and that'll tighten it up. If you've got a carbon cage, then unfortunately that's not possible. Although bizarrely, some water bottles are slightly different diameters, so maybe you'll be able to get a slightly larger one. Now, excess cables is a common complaint, particularly if the bike has been set up by a not particularly clued up bike shop. And it's essentially just that the brake cables up here are too long, they're unsupported, and then they rattle around against themselves and the frame. Fixing it is a little bit more involved than some of the other things in this video, but it's still relatively straightforward. In a nutshell, you have to remove the inner cable and then trim the outers to the correct length using a pair of good quality cable cutters. Now, the correct length is basically the shortest length that you can get away with without interfering with your steering. So this one is pretty much bang on, and therefore it doesn't rattle. We've got videos showing you exactly how to replace your gear and brake cables, and so if you click on that, then you'll get to see how to do it. Having poorly adjusted gears can be really, really noisy as well, particularly with the front derailleur, which can rub incessantly either in your easiest gear, which is particularly bad because you tend to be going up hills, or in your hardest gear when you're going flat out. It's pretty easy to fix it. We've got 2 videos explaining exactly how to do it. Just click on the links here. Next, a complaint that's unique to deep section wheels. That rattle. That is just the valve rattling in the carbon there. And to fix that, it's a little bit low rent, but it is easy. Simply take some electrical tape and then across your valve like that. Finally, don't forget that every accessory that you add to your bike may itself be a cause of noise. For example, saddlebags are particularly bad, particularly really massive ones that are half empty and full of stuff you don't need. So just be careful when you pack that saddlebag. Everything that you've got in there needs to be tightly wound together, maybe just with an elastic band or wrapped in a rag. I once went for a ride with a chap, and he had so many tools in there loose, it sounded like he had a cutlery drawer strapped to his bike. That was the last time I ever rode with him. True story, that. Right, if you've found and solved any other rattles or squeaks on your bike, then let us know in the comments section down below. Firstly, so that everyone else watching this video can look and see whether or not that's what they need. And then secondly, if we get enough of them, we can do another rattles and squeaks video, which you should probably all be looking forward to, I'm sure. Anyway, if you've got other squeaks, rattles and clicks on your bikes, then we've got plenty of other videos in our creak busting series. If you've got drivetrain creaks, then click up there to that video. If you've got creaks coming from the front end of the bike, then click down there to that video. And then for everything else, you just need to subscribe to GCN to make sure you don't miss another video. So just click on me.